Alright, I'm back. And I did it again. I started the video without the mic on, and I made it like a minute into the video and realized it and deleted it and started over. Alright, take these off. Well, actually, I'm going to leave them on because I'm going to switch the perspective real quick. I did it. I just got out of the shower. I did. I kind of like I did the things, but I didn't. So let's flip over. And this is really foggy because the lens is dirty. So I only did the tree trimming. I didn't do anything at all with the cameras. I was so worn out. I went out and planned on doing. I planned on trimming. Uh, this tree right here had a bunch of little limbs, and I planned on trimming all of those, and then a few hanging limbs, and then trimming some limbs from this brush pile back here on the other side of my fence. I plan on trimming some of the limbs that were coming over the fence. Um, and the extra stuff I ended up doing is to the right of what you're seeing right now, my fence line that I share with my neighbor. He's a nuisance neighbor. He's a worthless piece of crap. I have tons of issues with him. He and oh, I don't get along with him. I've like taken him to court already once. He has like four corgis and they bark all day long. He doesn't maintain his property and he doesn't understand. Like, I think this is the first house he's ever owned, and I don't even think he owns it. I think it's his sister's house that lets him live in it. But he thinks that because a tree is rooted in my lawn, that I'm responsible for everything with it. So he'll take limbs that fall onto his yard and pile them onto my property. He has this huge brush pile that he creates on my property, and it pisses me off. Anyway, let's not digress over that. Anyway, he doesn't maintain his backyard, and there are a bunch of wild trees that grow up along the fence line. All the fence you're looking at right now, I paid like $7,500 to have this fence installed a couple of years ago. It's cedar, which is supposedly the best wood type for the area that I live in. But I refused to. He was willing to go half and half with me to replace our shared fence, but I'm not paying to have the shared fence replaced while he's not maintaining his yard and there's trees growing up right up against the fence between him and I. But anyway, let me get back on topic and calm down a little bit because I'm getting salty just thinking about him. Uh, but aside from trimming this tree, which let's do investigate. Let's go backwards in time. Um, how far back we gonna have to go before I'm back there? It hasn't been that long. There's my wheelbarrow. Um, but why won't let me zoom in? Normally, used to in the old version of it, just clicking on it like I am right now would zoom. Looks like I have to click on that button now. And it might be changing the resolution because it's taking it a bit to spin up. But instead of just doing this, let's go back in time. Man, was it that long ago? Let's go way back to show you a before real quick. See how much crap there is there? Um, I was just gonna trim this up and then a few limbs that were overhanging, and I ended up doing all of this, and not only just doing the overhanging limbs, I actually went onto the other side of the fence and cleared a whole bunch of crap. I cleared about a 2 foot, about pretty much everything about 2 feet from my fence, which I think still technically about a foot past my fence is still my property. And on the other side of this fence are massive power lines, the big, like 100-foot tall metal ones. The city owns the property. OG&E has an easement. OG&E is technically responsible for maintaining it, and they don't maintain it. I have called the city several times. I've called OG&E several times. The city refers me to OG&E, and OG&E told me if I want to do anything about the trees back there that I can either do it myself or pay somebody to do it. So what I do every couple of years is all the wild trees that are growing up back there, I'll just take my chainsaw or clippers or whatever, and I'll just cut them all down. I'm not gonna, haul them away or anything. I just cut them down and leave them there. And OG&E, once the trees get tall enough that they start affecting the power lines, they'll have tree trim service come out here and top the trees, but they don't take care of anything down at the bottom. And like once a year, they'll come out and mow it. I mean, it gets like almost shoulder high back there in the grass. It's really frustrating that they don't maintain it because I'm constantly having vines and trees and stuff growing into my fence. It causes a lot of damage to my fence. So this was the before, and let's go. Where am I? Oh, and you see how it disappeared. A bunch of those limbs disappeared. Yeah, there's me. I spent quite a while trimming all that stuff, doing all those things. Let's go over to another camera. Some other things I did was these um, bushes that I basically cut down are trying to grow back. I went and I trimmed these things back out of them, and then I sprayed them down with Roundup to try to kill them. Once it rots enough that I can do it, I'm going to get my axe and bust up the what's remaining there, but that may take a couple of years for that to happen. But I'm right over here is where I have a small limb pile. God, I need to swap out these cameras. These Emoto cameras are horrible. See how big that limb pile is getting? I'm not even sure if I finished. Uh, yeah, right there. Right there, the very last load I did with a wheelbarrow, all the little limbs. Everything else I just hand carried over there because the limbs were so big. But then I picked up all the little ones with the wheelbarrow. So that would be toward the end. I just like walked around the yard double checking for anything that I missed. And that was me trimming the bushes. I got my... Yeah. I should have just took off running at those people, scare the hell out of them. If I had my chainsaw, I would have. And me just going ham with the Roundup everywhere. God, this camera is so bad. Oh, and then this guy came up there, man. His car was having all kinds of problems. What was going on with this guy? His car died, and he started it like 3 different times, and it would start moving. There's no audio on my cameras, so you can't hear it, but like his car just crapped out on him right there. I thought for a second that maybe like maybe he's one of my neighbors who wants to chat with me. That's a huge problem that I have. One of the biggest reasons I don't like doing lawn work is my neighbors usually come over and talk to me every time I get out here, and I don't like talking to my damn neighbors. I don't like most of my neighbors. The only one that I did like was this one right over here where that red SUV and like this car lot is at right now. That white van, all the cars in the driveway, and that red SUV, and there's like 2 or 3 other cars. All like belong to the people that live here. I don't know how many people live in that house, but the person who used to live there was a 90-year-old guy, Ken. Really, really super nice guy. It was him and his wife that were living there, and he told me that his kids were constantly pushing to put him in a nursing home, and they eventually won, and they forced him into a nursing home and sold his house. And these are the people that bought the house. They're just crappy people. There's like I don't know how many there's just constantly people showing up and leaving from this house. I don't know if it's just one massive family living there or if it's like three or four different families living there. But this is not all the cars that they have. There's usually about three more to four more cars that are parked here. This is just the middle of the day. Once it gets toward the evening, there's going to be more cars there. I hate these people. This house right here is it got foreclosed on. The guy who owned it, there was like all kinds of drama with these people. I have no idea what the hell was going on with them, but the cops were there at the house like every other week, and they were constantly renting the place out. Even when they were living in it, they were renting rooms, and then they moved out of the house and started renting the house, the whole house, and nobody ever stayed there more than 6 months. So there was a new tenant in this house every 6 months. This house is like 2,700 square feet. They were renting it for something like $2,000 a month, somewhere in that area. And nobody stayed there for more than about 6 months. And most of the tenants were just crappy people. It's just there was one guy. I don't. Okay, I don't. Let's not digress too much. A bunch of really bad tenants. This guy right here, where that red station wagon is the one that I share a fence with. He's the only person I share a fence with, and he's the one that I've like gone to court with him because he's a nuisance neighbor. But yeah, those are the my neighbors, and then there's Bill. Let me bring up this camera. So across the street from me, you see this brand new fence right here? That's Bill's house. Bill is the neighbor that is just he mows his lawn like I don't know every day. He like takes care of everything meticulously. He's old, he's retired, he's in his 70s. Um, and he is the one that calls and complains about everyone in the neighborhood. He thinks that it's the city ordinance that your grass cannot be taller than 6 inches. The city ordinance is 12 inches. And he reports everyone um, that has grass over 6 inches. And like he used to come over to my house all the time. Every time I would go out in my yard, he would come over here and make like really underhanded remarks about my property, like, man, this thing really needs to be painted, or just little things about my property maintenance. Oh, and he always made remarks about my, oh man, what the hell's with this camera? I hate these Zmotos. They're crap. Um, just making underhanded remarks. The other thing was lights. Lights. I have a lot of exterior lights. They're LEDs, so they use almost no power at all. Most of my lights are on motion detectors, but I have lights on timers and motion detectors all around my house. And I have a light. I have a motion detector light in my backyard, and then I have a day-night light in my backyard. So at night, I have a light that comes on that lights up pretty much my whole backyard. It's really high up on the back of my house, and it shines straight down into my yard. So it's not like it shines out into the neighborhood or anything like that. But that thing comes on when it hits night. And then I have motion detector light at the entrance to my backyard. And then I have a light over my garage that has a motion detector, and it's almost always on because there's cars going up and down the road all the time. And then my front porch light it's on a timer. It comes on at night and stays on all night. And he's constantly making comments about all the electricity that I'm wasting. I'm like, dude, these things are 9 watts. They're using no electricity. It costs like $1 a month to run these things. And I don't know. He's just used to always come over here making remarks, and I just kept getting more and more blunt. Oh crap! I'm gonna pause this real quick. In the back, I had some pizza that I was reheating, some Domino's left over from last night that was in my Wolfgang Puck oven. I threw it in there right when I came up and started this video, and I forgot about it. It turned out perfect though. It was just on the fringe of starting to get burned, so worked out well. Forgot what I was saying. But yeah, I think I was talking about Bill. I just he kept coming over, and I was nice to him at first, and he was just sitting there just browbeating me the whole time, just saying negative stuff about the property all the time, just underhanded stuff, and it kept getting under my skin, and I kept getting more and more rude with him. And I think I told him to like go away one time, and he kept coming back. Like he was one of those people who didn't get a hint, and I started thinking that maybe he's like. At first, I thought that he was saying that crap because like he wanted me to fix it, and that was like his subtle way of telling me to repaint my house and stuff like that. And then, later on, based on some other things and the way he was acting toward me, he like thought we were friends or something. So maybe he was just like socially awkward. Maybe that was his thing. Like maybe he just didn't understand how to talk with people. I don't think he understood how rude he was. I think that might have been it. But the last couple of times he came over, I just ignored him. I acted like he wasn't even there. And he would like walk into he would show up, and I would be in my garage like cleaning my tire chain on my motorcycle or something, and he would just walk into my damn garage and just start talking and like asking about stuff in my garage and things like that. I had to get to the point where I told him to get the hell off my property. Like I just are all neighbors like this, or do I just like have some weird ass neighbors? I will say that my neighborhood is mainly old people. Like almost everyone in my neighborhood is like 60, 70 plus years old. Most of them are retired. These people that just bought this house over here that's running this used car dealership, whatever the hell it is, they're a mixture of ages. None of them are too terribly old, though. The one that I share a fence with is retired Navy. He's retired on some kind of disability or something. Bill, he's probably in his 70s, 60s or 70s. Bill, I think, told me he's in his 70s or 80s. Most everyone around me is pretty damn old. So I don't know. Maybe I guess it could be a lot worse. But the next house that I buy, the next neighborhood I live in, I'm gonna live in some kind of HOA because city ordinances are just not enough to keep people in check. It is so annoying. But anyway, enough of me ranting. My pizza's cooling off a little bit. So I did all the tree trimming. I went above and beyond on the tree trimming. Did an amazing job on the tree trimming. Did not get around to the cameras. So maybe I'll do the cameras a little later today, or maybe tomorrow. Or I really need to get them done before I go to whatever trucking company that I drive for, because the day that I ship out for orientation, from that day forward, my home time is going to be limited. If I come home for a day or two, I'm going to want to rest and relax, and I'm going to be doing laundry and anything that, like any kind of like routine maintenance stuff. Like I'm going to be like rushed. I'm going to have a lot of things to do in a little bit of time, so I don't want to have anything left to do when it gets to the point where I'm going to leave for orientation for whatever company I'm going to drive for. So I want to get all that I can done before then. But 20 minutes of me pretty much saying nothing, so we'll end it there. I did not. Damn it! I didn't do the phone recording thing. I was going to do the phone recording. I need to do the phone recording. I need to test out the phone recording, and I need to test out my Nikon camera recording. I don't think that I got the audio, the mic. I think it has a mic on it, but there's an add-on mic that you can get that, like, it's a better mic. It has a little fuzzy on it, like all professional and stuff. I'm definitely not taking my Nikon camera with me when I'm training. I'm gonna take, like, there's a lot of things that I'm not gonna take with me when I'm on the trainer truck. When I get my own truck, yeah, I'll take my Nikon camera and a whole bunch of other stuff. But no, so I'm not gonna be like recording with my Nikon camera anytime soon. So I'm not too worried about testing that out. And I'm thinking about starting up an Instagram, and I can post still pictures on there of, the various things. I just don't know if I would bother with doing it. Like when I bought my camera, it's a really nice, expensive camera. I thought that I would take pictures of everything. And no, it's too much of a pain in the butt to get it out and set it up and then upload the pictures and all the rest of that stuff. Is just too inconvenient. I don't know if I would bother with it. I might fire up the Instagram and just see how it goes. I don't know if I would follow through with it though. But that's it. I'm satisfied with my accomplishments for today. Oh, 22 minutes. My videos are always 30 minutes, so I'm going to ramble for another 8 minutes. Something I got to thinking about when I was out there is cleanliness, hygiene, showers. I'm the type of person that if I ever get sweaty, I need to take a shower immediately. I can't stand being sticky and icky. I'm a shower person. I typically will not leave my house if I haven't taken a shower that day. I've finally got to myself to where I'm willing to leave my house to go to like a drive-through, or maybe sometimes if I'm just running in real quick to get something like an ATM or to grab some milk at like Brahms or something, which is kind of like a convenience store. It's a little restaurant that has kind of a small grocery store inside of it. Local. I don't think it's very popular outside of Oklahoma. Brahms is kind of an Oklahoma thing. That's the reason I explain it. It's because if you're not in Oklahoma, you don't know what the hell Brahms is. But anyway, I'm that type of person. If I ever sweat, my first thing is I need a shower. I need a shower. So that's one of my things with getting back out over the road is what's the shower situation. I've done this before, and the whole shower thing wasn't that big of a deal as long as I wasn't doing manual labor. So when I worked for Conway doing LTL, I was sweating all day long. I hated that job. But once my shift was over, I went home and I took a shower. And then I would generally take a shower again in the morning before I went to work. Because I'm the type of person that I can't function during the day without taking a shower in the morning. But when I worked for Swift over the road, they seemed to have the worst contracts, because I did not have this problem when I drove for another over the road company. But with Swift, oh my God, like everything was driver touch freight. Especially when I was on the Kmart account. It was all driver unload stuff. And I would start my day at like 4 a.m. spending an hour and a half unloading a trailer, sweating my butt off. And I can't count the number of tire deliveries that I did. oh my God, that I like it was probably 80% or more driver unload stuff with Swift. They just seem to have the absolute worst contracts. It's like Swift has the contracts nobody else wants. It's just crap. Oh my God. And that is one of the things I hated so much about like driving for Swift was sweating my butt off, and then I wouldn't be in a position where I could take a shower for a day or two. I carried so many extra clothes, and I took there are a lot of phrases for it, but a bird bath type thing. There are some less savory terms to describe it, but I would do my best. But it was, man, if you feel sticky and icky and nasty, and and the other problem with it was that even when I would get to a truck stop, I couldn't afford to take a shower. And I rarely ever filled up at a truck stop. The way Swift would route me, they have so many terminals that I would almost always fill up at a Swift terminal. So, I didn't do the 50 gallons of fuel to where I get a free shower. And, $12 for a shower is really expensive when you're making, $300 to $500 a week. Like, I was barely scraping by. $12 is a lot of money to me. So I don't know. That's one of my concerns with getting back into trucking. But the company I plan on going with is like 99% drop and hook, and it's I think 100% no touch freight. It's I don't think I'll ever I I can go 2 or 3 days without a shower, driving a truck, as long as I'm not doing something where I'm sweating profusely. If I start sweating, then I need to take a shower. I can't go 2 or 3 days without a damn shower if I'm going to be sweating. But if I'm in a climate controlled environment, then yeah, I'll be nasty after 3 days, but it'll be a tolerable nasty. But anyway, I'm going to eat this pizza and try to talk myself into doing the camera stuff tonight or tomorrow. So, all right, I'll throw this video up. Thanks for watching. For the one, I want to say this again. There's like as soon as I put a video up, it shows one view. There has to be some bot that is watching my videos. That's it. That's the only thing that makes sense to me is that there's a bot that watches every. What I think it is whenever I watch videos, I've noticed that even if they don't have like, let's say that in the video they talk about, I don't know, big red gum. Let's say they don't put that anywhere in the title. It's mentioned nowhere in the description. The only place that it is they talk about it in the video. They mention it maybe once or twice or something. I think there's a program that's going through there and listening to the video and creating tags based on the video, because I'll watch a video that'll mention something like big red gum and I'm just like, that didn't really happen. I'm making this up. But I'm just using it as an example. But I've watched a video that in this scenario, and then all of a sudden I'll start getting advertisements and video recommendations on big red gum just because it was said in the video, not in the tags or the description or title or anything, just because it was said in the video. So that's probably what my one view is whatever program they have that goes through and listens to the audio and creates a transcript so that their ad algorithm crap can do all of their search things that they do. So anyway, thanks. Bye.